Hey guys, it's Gameface here and welcome back to a video today, basically deciding on the next career mode for this channel. Basically what's going to take place is a vote. The link to the vote will be in the description below, but in this video I'm going to be going through the teams that are on that vote, so obviously stay tuned and then probably vote after is what I'd suggest. So I'll quickly get onto the first team now, and there's basically 7 teams to pick between, so there's quite a few, there's plenty of different options, and basically just asking you guys to pick your favourite out of the 7 that you'd like to see, and yeah, we'll come to a general consensus based off that vote, hopefully. And yeah, without further ado, let's crack on to the first team. Okay, so the first team is Sunderland, a little bit of a different one. I am trying to go with a few different teams, as you'll notice during this. Again, it's one of the 7 options. I'm not necessarily saying that it's a definite. It's down to you guys what you would like to see. So don't see all of these as like definite possibilities. It's all down to what you guys would like to see. Sunderland have obviously got Jermaine Defoe, plenty of other decent players as well, and not in a good position in real life. That's the reason why I'd like to try and change the club around a little bit. A decent budget as well, and they've got quite high attendances in real life. I think it's something like the 4th highest average home attendance. That's pretty decent, so they've clearly got a decent fan base by the looks of it, and you know, maybe you guys would like to see that. Let's move on to the next team staying in the English leagues. And that next team is Aston Villa. Now, it's not a Premier League side, it is obviously a Championship team. Aston Villa in the Championship, again with a decent budget to try and spend. They've brought in loads of new players. In the summer, they brought in loads of new signings, even in January as well. They're still trying to add to the squad, rotate the squad around massively. And it's a development. It's certainly going to be a huge development with Aston Villa, trying to get them back into the Premier League, back into that sort of top 6 or 7 where they were with Martin O'Neill. And again, could be quite an interesting one that could potentially go on for quite a few seasons and trying to develop the side. There's obviously some decent players in the team as well that they've signed recently. So certainly a possibility. Again, 2 of the English teams here. We've also got 2 teams from the French League, 2 teams from the Italian League, and 1 team from the Spanish League as well. So let's move on to those French teams now. And the first one is with Monaco. Now, I have mentioned this one in a few videos, to be honest, recently, as I've been sort of slowly ending the Leeds career mode. I have mentioned Monaco, and going kind of the opposite end of the Sunderland spectrum. Basically, Monaco have the lowest average home attendance in the Ligue 1, and basically they have I think an average home attendance of about 8 or 9,000, something like that. So pretty small. I think they've got quite a small stadium as well. But the team, that is the main thing. Their team is incredible. Decent transfer budget as well. Not fantastic, but okay. We can obviously work with it. They've got a really good squad already, and the aim would obviously be to beat PSG to the league, and also to try and progress further in the Champions League, see how we can get on in there, and will probably last for a couple of seasons, but certainly the squad is full of exciting young talent that we could really train up. On to the next French team now. And that is Lyon. Now, a slightly less budget, but again, a fantastic team, a really, really good side. They're obviously competing with Monaco, with your PSGs, Marseille's, those sort of sides. It is quite a competitive league for those teams that are not PSG, if that makes sense. Those teams outside of PSG usually are competing quite a lot for the 2nd and 3rd places. In real life, though, it's obviously massively different to that, to what we've seen in recent years, with PSG not doing as well as they have done in previous years. But it's still quite competitive at the top, and this sort of side that Lyon have is full of really good young talent that we could really try and train up and hopefully create a really good super squad with the likes of Depay, obviously Lacazette as well in there, some really good players going forward in particular, and yeah, it'll be a good side to build upon yet again, try and compete in sort of the Europa League, Champions League, that sort of thing, and progress them through the European competitions. On to some of the Spanish teams now. Okay, so the only Spanish team that I have in the selection of teams to vote between is Sevilla. Now, this is again another team that I've mentioned quite a few times on recent occasions as a possibility of joining them, and their budget is 29 million, so a decent chunk again. I would potentially think about adding 60% extra as well onto some of these sides, depending on who I end up going with. But Sevilla here, 5-star rated team, a really good side. I'm a fan of a lot of the players that they actually have in this side as well, and they've obviously made some decent loan signings. In particular, I think Jovetic is a loan signing, I'm pretty sure. Nasri as well from Manchester City. They have some great players in this squad, and we can also add to that as well. We know about the competition in the La Liga. We know how competitive it is. Obviously, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid as well, all really trying to compete, and we would be having to compete up there with them, hopefully trying to cause them some issues, as we, I'm pretty sure, have kind of done, I'm pretty sure, most of this season have caused those teams some issues at the top end of the league. So I'm hoping that we could be able to do that if we were to select Sevilla, another good side with some very good expectations, actually, some very high expectations, I should say. High domestic success, medium continental, high brand, and they've got financials critical with youth development as high as well. So that'll be a very tough challenge for us, but would be a very interesting job if we were to go ahead and take it. And now to finish things off, let's take a look at the final two teams in the Italian league. Okay, the first team is Inter Milan, a 5-star rated team, 34 million to spend or thereabouts, and again a fantastic side, some really good players, but not the most dominant side in the league. That's kind of the theme throughout most of these teams, to be honest. They're not the most dominant side, and they're not completely controlling the league in real life, and we wouldn't really expect them to do that if we were to undertake playing as these sides. We'd expect them to be just probably below the first place kind of position. Inter Milan, obviously a very good side. They've got the San Siro on here as well, which we'll be able to use. Again, expectations are fairly high, brand exposure critical, high continental and domestic success as well, but financial expectations are low with youth development medium. With all these teams, we'll be looking to develop some youth academy players. I need to try and put more effort into doing that, I think, on this career than I did in the Leeds one. In the Leeds one, it's about developing the younger players that we had there, whereas this one I want to try and bring some young players in through the academy into the starting 11. So Inter Milan could be a very possible team that we could try and manage. I think they have the highest home attendance this season on average, so again another reason, because decent fan base and a decent club by the looks of it. So yeah, I would be very interested in joining Inter Milan potentially. Moving on to the final team now that you have to choose between, and it is again remaining in the Italian league. Little bit controversial because this one is AC Milan, so it's obviously a bit of a rivalry there, just a little bit with Inter Milan. But yeah, this is the other option that we have in the Italian league. So one of the 7 options is also Milan as well. So last but not least, they are on they've got about 38 million which we can spend, which is not too bad really compared to obviously what we saw with Inter Milan. The club is worth more than Inter Milan. Also got San Siro again on here. Home and away kits are looking pretty decent as well, and their ball expectations are pretty high on the whole. Brand exposure critical, continental success and domestic success again high, with financial and youth development as medium. A 4.5-star rated team though, so slightly worse in terms of star rating. Maybe be a little bit more of a challenge to try and improve the side. But again, ultimately it's down to you guys what you'd like to see between those 7 sides. We've got Monaco, Lyon, Sevilla, AC Milan, Sunderland, Aston Villa and Inter Milan to choose from. And that pretty much concludes this short video for today. It's not the only video going up today, though. You do have the player career mode, the My Player career going up as well, and you'll see on screen what time that will be going up as well. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching this video. Don't forget to vote. That's the most important thing. Vote in that description below, and you can just do that completely for free, and to determine what career mode you guys will see on this channel next. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.